Okay, to pick up where we left off, I wanted to repeat this. Lack of time and waiting to the last minute is the number one reason why people plagiarize. Um, at that point, it's intentional. So, because you know that the only way to get through it is to lift somebody's words off the internet. So that's not unintentional, that's intentional. Well, let's go to slide 8. So is plagiarism really that big of a problem? Creativity is great, but plagiarism is faster. Oh, absolutely, it's faster. In a sample of 1,800 students at 9 state universities, 70% of the students admitted to cheating on exams. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. 84% admitted to cheating on written assignments. That doesn't surprise me either, because students like to get together and they say, okay, I'll write this paragraph, you write that paragraph, and also saving time so you can go out and party that night. 52% had copied a few sentences from a website without citing the source. That's a lot. More than half are plagiarizing. Some of that is unintentional and some of it is intentional to get the project done in time, so you don't get docked any points for being late. But those are pretty high, and I want to see. I try to lower those percentages. I can't do it all by myself, but let's move on to slide 9. So this is titled, "Don't Pass Go, Don't Collect $200, Go Straight to Jail." It's serious. This is a serious failure of ethics. In college, if you and you can read in our syllabus what are the penalties for plagiarism. But as this slide says, in college, these things can happen. You can fail the assignment, you can fail the class, you can get reported to the dean, and you can get expelled from college, period. In the real world, quote, misdemeanors punishable by fines of anywhere between $100 and $50,000 and up to 1 year in jail. Those are the real penalties. A felony under certain state and federal laws if a plagiarist copies and earns more than $2,500 from copyrighted material, he or she may face up to $250,000 in fines and up to 10 years in jail. Yes, these penalties are written into law. And I don't have $250,000 in my bank account to hand over just because I plagiarized something. I also don't have 10 years to spend in prison. And I know you don't like to hear that. I don't want to scare you, but I want to scare you enough that you don't think that this is an okay thing to do. Moving on to 10. Intentional plagiarists are easy to catch. How do we do it? Well, the teacher's core knowledge. Maybe I read something and I just know it isn't true. So I've got to go and look for, where did they get this information? Search engines, plagiarism preventive websites, like we're going to put every paper you write through Turnitin. Internet paper mills. This is the beginning of a student paper recently submitted in an English class. It is also plagiarized directly from, and we've got 2 sites there, but I am going to read this to you and you answer to yourself, how did the teacher know this was plagiarized? Anne Bradstreet was in most ways quite typically Puritan. Many poems reflect her struggle to accept the adversity of the Puritan colony, contrasting earthly losses with the eternal rewards of the good. Anne Bradstreet contrasts the transitory nature of earthly treasure with eternal treasures. and seems to see these trials as lessons from God. This is good writing. And I'm going to get used to your writing. I'm going to get used to your speaking. And so I will be able to tell whether I think you're capable of writing this or not. But there was one way I found out that this was plagiarized, and I want you to think long and hard, or try it yourself. As you're looking at this, try to figure out in some way how this is plagiarized. It'll be good experience for you. We move on to 11. Unintentional plagiarism is more common. And I believe that, and that's why I choose to believe that in you. I don't think you want to just get by. I think you want to earn a good grade in whatever class you're in. And I don't think that most people resort to plagiarism to get good grades. So most unintentional plagiarism occurs because students don't really understand the complexity of the research process, or they don't fully engage in the research process. Once again, I don't think that's really the answer. I think being not taking enough time to do the project properly. And I really urge you not to wait until the night before an assignment is due. That's when big mistakes happen. All right. Let me just tell you a little story about me. When starting about the age of 6, after I fell off of a very high slide onto concrete, I mean, I could have killed myself. I don't know what was going on. I have a fear of heights, and I got up to the top of this very, very high slide. And I looked over the side, and I got dizzy, and I got nauseated, and I fell right over. And that thing must have been 12 feet high, which is a story or more of a house. And I landed on concrete. And I don't know how long I was out, but when my eyes opened, there was an elderly couple sitting on a bench in front of me, not trying to help me up, nothing. I sort of raised my head, and I saw my aunt with groceries, a grocery bag in each arm, running from across the park to pick me up. And she took me all over town. This was in Chicago, on the bus, on Saturday, trying to find a doctor's office that was open. She finally found one. But ever since then, I had migraines. And sure enough, if I waited to the last minute, the night before an assignment, I'd end up with a migraine. I know that a lot of students have migraines. They get it from pressure. They get it from, I'm allergic to some things that are migraine triggers, that sort of thing. But if I don't do my work, if I don't start on it right away, and I leave it to the end, sure as shooting, I'm going to get a migraine and I won't be able to finish it. So anticipate those health conditions you have, or if you're really bad at time management, improve it by getting to work on something right away. Now on 12, we're talking about understanding the purpose of research. Research is not a punishment. Research is not busy work. Good research starts with a provocative question. I do a lot of research. I love it. Research is not a string of quotations linked by ands. Good research involves finding the answer by first looking at what others have written. This is reading so that you can write a literature review. This is what they found before me. Now I'm going to ask the question a little bit different way, or I'm going to try to get data in a different way. Secondly, the researcher asserts himself into the project and creates a conversation between the different sources. And research is the language of higher education. Those of you who will be giving speeches, you will be doing research. Those of you who will be writing a paper or two, such as in mass multimedia law, you're going to do research. Those of you in COM 1101 are going to do research. Okay, this is the end of video 2.